Temporary theater. Learners, you can hear dress rehearsal. Thank you for being here. You're in for a whole bunch of thrills, chills, and absolutely terrifying screams and lots of scary stories. So thank you for being here. Be warned, it is scary. Well, not too scary. Just the right balance between, you know, the Jeepers Creepers and the heebie-jeebies. We're somewhere in there. So, all right. So, with no further ado, I give you Tarnish's Hand. Thank you.
Welcome to Gem Radio Theater's Horrors You Can Hear. Listen closely. Tonight, you'll stand witness to the shadows of horrors. Horrors that exist only when the imagination staggers deeper into the dark and questions the innocence of each flickering sound. As the mind wanders and convulses at the snap of a twig, or the black shadows that disturb the dark, the faintest spark carries streams into the blood, throbs through the veins, and creeps into the heart, where it plants a seed of fear. It grows, and thick, cold roots twist through the arteries, prickling the hairs on the back of your neck, freezing the marrow in your bones, paralyzing the body with madness and fear. Tonight you shall take a glimpse into the uncanny corners of the world, where truths have, until now, remained silent and stagnant in an abandoned home, sealed shut in the well of a basement, buried deep in the bowels of the world. Observe and consider. Does fear grow in your heart? And now, quiet, please.
Me? I'm a roughneck. Well, I was 20 years ago. A little too old now. Besides, I got $1 now. I don't have to be a roughneck, you see. Married, got a nice home. You have to meet my wife. Hey, Mike! Her name's Maxine, but she likes to be called Mike. Mike! I guess she's busy. Besides, she doesn't hear very well. Shame, too. She's so pretty and everything. Well, you'll meet her. And I was saying I was a roughneck. A roughneck is an old field worker, specifically a guy on a drilling crew, but if you work around that crew for a while, you're gonna be a roughneck in every sense of the word. The derrick floor of the Fourble Board is no place for a guy with a bow tie. We have to fool around with drilling holes that go farther down in the ground than it is from the top of Pikes Peak down to sea level. I don't think there's an oil man in the world that don't wonder what's down there besides rock and oil and gas. Oil that's made out of trees that died 20 million years ago. Oil that's made out of dinosaur bones. Oil that's made out of the flesh and blood of men that beat each other to death with stone axe, ate saber-toothed tiger for lunch. You get to wondering. We found something once, me and Billy Woodall, and something found us. I'll tell you about it. Clear down to around 5,400 feet, we'd set casing that began to get water, so we had to stop drilling and cement off. When water begins to seep in the hole, you pull your drill pipe. Then you let down a cementing shoe inside the casing, and you plug up the bottom of the hole with quick hardening waterproof cement. Then, when it's hard, you drill through the cement and go on down, and the cement outside the casing at the bottom keeps the water out. Well, we had the drill pipe all pulled and racked. The cement was setting, see? So we were shut down, waiting for it to harden. We'd been coring just before. Well, you see, a core drill is hollow. And as the bit digs down, it stuffs the drillings up inside it, so when you pull it out, you've got a sample of the kind of stuff you're going through. And a geologist can tell a lot from that. So there's nobody around the rig except me that night. The rest of the crew's gone into town. I was toasting some pork chops over the porch for myself when I heard a car pull up. Look out, it's Billy Greenwald, the geologist, and I give him a hello. Hi, Billy. Come and have a pork chop.
All right, Porky. Hey, where's everybody?
They all went to town. I'm the entire crew.
Oh, man.
How's your ride up here? You have any blowouts?
3 blowouts between here and Oxnard.
Yeah, I wondered where you was. Ted said you'd be in here about 3.
Yeah, it would have been, except for, I just had some terrible, terrible luck.
Hungry? Here. I got 6. No, 7 pork chops.
Swell. Hey, I got a bottle out of the car.
We're gonna have a banquet.
Say, where is that core? That's what I came up here to look at.
Ah, back there on the bench. Look at it after supper.
Hey,
What?
didn't you say you were here all alone?
Uh-huh.
I thought I heard somebody talking.
I don't see anybody. Keep an eye on that pork chop. You won't have any supper.
Yeah, I'll watch it. Hey, when did you finish cementing?
This morning, last tower only made about 10 feet of hole, so Ted shut down before we got flooded out of house and home.
Funny about that water.
Huh? How?
Well, by my figuring, there shouldn't be any water at that level.
Huh. Well, there is.
Is it salt?
Sure, right out the bottom of the ocean.
Huh. That is funny. Well, I probably should take a look at that core. I can find out something from that core. The last time I looked at it, I could have sworn we were in the shed.
Ain't seen none yet from the cuttings.
It's funny.
Here, your pork chop's done. Take some bread.
Ah, thanks. You never know what's down there. You do all that plotting, that mapping, you're looking at the strata, but all you know is what comes out of that hole. Hey, where is that core anyway?
Yeah, over there.
Hey, wait a minute, Porky.
What is it? What's the matter?
Listen.
What's eating you?
I could have sworn there was somebody up there on that Fourble Board.
Ah, you're crazy. There's nobody up there.
Man, standing next to that standard drill pipe up there.
Ah, they're just rack crooked. One of them slid. Come on back and eat your pork chop.
No. All right, I guess. I just don't know.
What you so jittery about, Billy? Come on, eat your sandwich.
Yeah. Well, thanks for the sandwich. I'm not normally scared, but I am scared. I'm afraid of the dark. I don't want to be a baby, but I just can't help it.
Scared of the dark? Honest?
Stupid, ain't it?
Oh, I don't know. Everybody's scared of something. Me? Spiders scare the tar out of me. Black widows. I know how you feel, Billy.
You got a light around here?
Yeah. Here.
Ah, thanks. I really need this. Porky, I got an idea. Why don't you go out to my car, look in the driver's side door pocket, pull out that bottle, bring that bottle back here. I think I need that.
Okay, kid. Okay. So I picked up a flashlight. I turned around and went outside. I found his car, and I got the bottle. And the floor of the derrick was all lit up, and when I saw a beam of light suddenly flash up toward the Fourble Board, I laughed. Billy Greenwald and his ideas. Sure, I looked up. There wasn't a darn thing up there. So, Billy turned his light off and I come on over. And just as I come over, he let out a yell.
Yeah!
What's the matter? What's the matter, Billy?
Oh, look at this, Porky, look at this!
Well, what is it?
Look at it!
My, where did you find that?
I tell you, on my honor, this was embedded in the core.
Well, it couldn't be.
Well, it was. I swear it was. Man, it's just amazing. It's just amazing. This rock comes from a mile underground, and it's been a mile underground for 1,000,000 years. Just look at this, man.
And I did look. And what he was holding was a gold ring. And it was all carved and filigree, just like jewelry. And there wasn't any kidding about it. It was real. I poked at the core of rock that looked like a kind of petrified salami or something. And it was my turn to pretty near jump out of my pants. Because right alongside the place where Billy dug out the ring, there was a mud-covered but very unmistakable finger. I picked it up, and it was cold, and it was heavy, and it was solid rock. At least it felt like solid rock. Billy started to rub the mud off this here stone finger, and as he rubbed it, it began to disappear. You know, he could still feel it, he said, but when the mud was gone, neither one of us could see it. And he dropped it to the derrick floor. It went clunk. We couldn't find it anyplace. So you know what we done? Well, we took that bottle, took it, and we finished it, Billy and me. We finished it in one slug apiece, and it was a full pint of bathtub gin that tasted just like so much well water to me. And then we sat down, and we looked at each other. We didn't say a word. My eyes got heavier and heavier. I shut my eyes a little. I guess I went to sleep. And I had awful dreams. Black widow spiders crawling all over me with gold rings on their legs. Things I could hear but I couldn't see up on the Fourble Board. Billy Greenwald jumping up the ladder outside the derrick in the moonlight. Faces looking at me. I couldn't figure out who they were. I opened my eyes to see Billy Greenwald lying on the floor, 2 feet away, with a broken neck. With a broken neck in his left hand, well, he put the gold ring on the little finger of his left hand, and the way his arms were spread out, his left little finger and the ring were gone. Well, friend, I got out of there. I run down to where Billy had left his car and I got in. I stepped on the starter. I remember after I pretty near run down the battery that Billy had taken a key. I wasn't going up there to go through a dead man's clothes to get it, so I sat there in the car, shivered all by myself till daylight. And then Ted and the crew came. Afterwards, a state cop, and everybody in the world was asking me questions.
Did you and Billy have a fight, Porky?
I told you we didn't, Ted.
But you've been drinking.
We only had that little pint, Ted.
What was he doing up on the Fourble Board?
Did you threaten him? Did he run up there to get away from you?
Listen, cop, don't be a chump. Billy Greenwald and I were good friends.
Then why'd you push him off the Fourble Board?
I didn't, I tell you. I wasn't up there.
Well, then what did he go up there for?
I don't know. I was asleep.
Well, how'd you know he was up there?
I didn't say he was. You said so. Besides, how would he break his neck if he didn't fall from way up there?
Now look, officer, I think it was just another accident. I mean, we haven't got anything on Porky, and personally, I don't believe he did it.
Well, it's mighty mysterious.
So it is. But we got work to do. Now how about it? That cement's hard down there and I want to start drilling and I'm short-handed. How about you let Porky stay and work for me, and when we're done, you can take him down to the station and ask him questions till you're blue in the face.
Well, okay.
All right, good. All right. Then let's get rolling. All right, Porky. You head up on that Fourble Board.
What? Not me, Ted.
Don't be such a boo. There's nobody there that's going to push you off. Hey, you can even put a safety line on if you want to. And besides, you're getting paid to do what you're told. So come on, let's get going.
So, okay, go up on the Fourble Board. And you can bet I took a good gander around before I did anything else. No, I couldn't see a thing. So I signaled to the driller to let down the traveling block, and he did. Came sailing down from up above. I was just reaching for it to pick up the first fourble of a drill pipe. Give a big jerk and the cable broke, and it pulled me off the Fourble Board. And it landed, right on top of Ted. Well, that was enough. 2 accidents in a row. The whole crew quit. They wasn't gonna wait for a third. And as far as I know, the abandoned derrick is still there. And that was 20 years ago. Oh, I forgot to tell you something. That traveling block was right in front of my face when it broke loose. It was hanging by a steel cable. 3/4 inch steel cable. And I saw that cable break right before my eyes. Looked just like a piece of string when you snap it between your fingers. And you know what? There was something up on that Fourble Board with me. A couple of days later, I came back. I don't know if there's anything in the world as desolate, as dismal, as dead-looking as an abandoned oil well rig. It's the deadest thing you ever saw. Everything was just the way we left it. I looked in at the floor. The smashed traveling block was there and a little mutter of steam from the boiler. That was all. Then I heard a tinkle of something as it hit the ground alongside me. I looked around. There wasn't a soul in sight. But at my feet was the old ring that Billy Greenwald and I found in the cold rock that came from a mile underground from 1,000,000 years ago in time. And I heard a little sound. The sound of a kid crying. There wasn't any kid up there. But I heard it again. It came from above my head, and I took out my revolver. I loaded it carefully. Well, there wasn't anything there. Nothing I could see. There was a voice crying, the voice of a little kid. And there was a movement behind the rack of drill pipes, and I saw the pipe move. Come out of there, whoever you are. Come out or I'll start shooting. Then the stand of pipes shivered, and I thought, what can it be that can handle a heavy pipe like jack straws? Then there was a crash. I just got out of the way in time, and I was alone on the Fourble Board with the thing. But I couldn't see it. I felt the platform tremble under my feet again as something moved toward me. I fired 2 or 3 shots, and nothing happened. I started backwards. I knew it was following me because I could hear it meowing like a cat. My feet tripped over something. I saw it was a big can of red lead that somebody had left up there. Without thinking, I picked it up and I threw it at the sound, and it splashed. And there it was. And I wish I The face of a little girl, frightened, crying with hunger and terror. Hands like a human being, and a finger missing from the left hand, and a body. Well, I'll tell you about that. I told you how I'm scared of spiders, but I knew where it came from. It come from the bowels of the earth, come riding up on the drill pipe as we yanked it out of the well, come to an alien world, and was lost. It stood there dripping with red paint, blood red from head to foot, like some horrible dream, and it put its hand on my arm. Its hand was stone, living, moving stone, and it looked into my eyes, meowed like a lost kitten. 20 years ago, I discovered many things about it. What it used for food, that it was deaf, that it was invisible and couldn't see people when it was invisible, that if you sprayed it with mud or paint or grease paint, makeup, that it could see people. And believe me, I didn't want to see its body. I can see that in my nightmares. But its face, I can't help wanting to see that pathetic little girl face. I'm afraid maybe I've fallen. But it's very beautiful. And when it's well made up, it's but making it up. Rubbing grease paint on a stone face that looks at you and smiles and it makes sounds like a lost kitten, yet I can disguise the body in long dresses. She can't hear very well, and when she's hungry, I have to stay out of her way. I found out what she likes to eat, remember? No, sit still. Sit still, do! Sit still or I'll have to shoot you. I want you to meet my wife. Or rather, my wife wants to meet you. Mike? Mike? There she is. Come on in, dear.
The horrors of matrimony. I heard that he bought the engagement ring for that slender stone figure at Garnet Studio. Even a beast from the bowels of the earth deserves the symbol of true love. Shh.
Do not be scared of the monsters. Just look for them. Look to your left. Look to your right. Look under the bed. Behind the dresser. In your closet. But never, never look up. She hates being seen.
One night, a woman went out for drinks with her girlfriends. She left the bar fairly late at night, got into her car, and onto the deserted highway. She noticed a lone pair of headlights in her rearview mirror, approaching at a pace just slightly quicker than hers. As the car pulled up behind her, she glanced and saw the turn signal on. The car was going to pass, when suddenly it swerved back behind her, pulling up dangerously close to her tailgate, and the brights flashed. Now she was getting nervous. The lights dimmed for a moment, and then the brights came back on, and the car began to surge forward. The frightened woman struggled to keep her eyes on the road and fought the urge to look at the car behind her. Finally, her exit approached, but the car continued to follow, flashing the brights periodically. Through every stoplight and turn, it followed her until she pulled into her driveway. She figured her only hope was to make a mad dash into the house and call the police. As she flew from the car, so did the driver of the car behind her, and he screamed, "Lock the door and call the police! Call 911!" When the police arrived, the horrible truth was finally revealed to the woman. The man in the car had been trying to save her. As he pulled up behind her and his headlights illuminated her car, he saw the silhouette of a man with a butcher knife rising from the back seat to stab her. So he flashed his brights, and the figure crouched back down.
My daughter won't stop crying and screaming in the middle of the night. I visit her grave and ask her to stop, but it doesn't help.
To celebrate their first year at university, 6 friends went camping in the wilderness. After driving for several hours from the nearest town, they discovered a lagoon nestled beside a cliff ideal for diving. They set up camp in the woods nearby and spent the evening swimming in the warm, clear water. As the sun sunk down between the trees, one of the friends went up to the highest point on the cliff and jumped off, while the other 5 watched. Their laughter slowly subsided as they waited for him to surface. It took only half a minute for them to dive in after their friend. Struggling and sputtering among the reeds in the lagoon, they searched hopelessly for him. Finally, they disentangled themselves and came up, but they never saw their friend again. Heartbroken, they returned to the city and passed a strange and lonely year in which their only solace was the knowledge that they would return to the lagoon to honor the anniversary of their friend's death. A year passed and they returned to the lagoon as a memorial. But as they approached, they saw their friend standing there, head bowed. Excitedly, they called to him and began running towards him, but he didn't turn. As they got closer, they called him more desperately, but still to no avail. With joy, they ran towards him, but stopped dead when they saw not 1, but 5 crosses on the water side.
A boy was digging at the edge of the garden when he saw a big toe. He tried to pick it up, but it was stuck to something. So he gave it a good hard jerk and it came off in his hand. And then he heard something groan and scamper away. The boy took the toe into the kitchen and showed it to his mother. It looks nice and plump, she said. I'll put it in the soup and we'll have it for supper. That night his father carved the toe into 3 pieces, and they each had a piece. Then they did the dishes, and when it got dark, they went to bed. The boy fell asleep almost at once, but in the middle of the night, a sound awakened him. It was something out in the street. It was a voice, and it was calling to him. Where is my toe? It groaned. When the boy heard that, he got very scared. But he thought, it doesn't know where I am, it will never find me. Then he heard the voice once more, only now it was closer. Where is my toe? It groaned. Oh boy. Oh. pulled the blankets over his head and closed his eyes. I'll go to sleep, he thought, and when I wake up, it will be gone. But soon he heard the back door open, and again he heard the voice. Where is my toe? Then the boy heard the footsteps move through the kitchen, into the dining room, into the living room, into the front hall. Then they slowly climbed the stairs. Closer and closer they came. Soon they were in the upstairs hall. Now they were outside his door. Where is my toe? The door opened. Shaking with fear, he listened as the footsteps slowly moved through the dark toward his bed. Then they stopped. Where is my toe? You got it!
Be careful when following curiosity into the dark. Consider bringing a light from Blue Line Electric Services. They'll help you hide from the dark. Lights out.
Out here is on horseback.
You can say that again. It's like nothing to nowhere. Said somebody was hurt?
That's what the switchboard said.
Jeez, what a bump, huh? Doesn't seem to be a bell.
There must be someone in there. There's a light on. Try the door. Huh.
Yep, it's open.
Well, let's go inside.
All right.
Hello in there? Anybody here? This is another false alarm. Anybody here? I'm a doctor. What the?
Over there, on the floor. What is it?
My goodness.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, you gotta see.
I do. Oh.
Lady? I'm a doctor from General Hospital. Now, what seems to be the matter?
Oh, she's kind of creepy, ain't she?
Oh, frightened.
Well, we need to get her out here, Doc. How about the straight jacket? Should I get a straight jacket?
Can't get this door to...
Well, what are you going in there for?
Whoever's hurt must be in there. Come on, put your shoulder into it.
What are you doing? Why do you want to go in there?
Forget the woman. Come on, put your shoulder to it right now.
It's dark.
Yeah.
Can't see a thing.
Go back in the other room and get your kerosene lamp.
Oh, but Doc.
Get it, I say.
All right, all right. Okay, Doc, here's the lamp.
Good. Now hold it high.
Oh, here it is, but, oh, what is that?
Oh, Mother in heaven. It's a man.
Oh, no, it can't be.
It's a man, but he's turned inside out.
Inside out?
Yes, a man, but he's been turned inside out. Look, the skin on the inside. Flesh, raw flesh hanging on the outside, organs hanging.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's a miracle. It's a miracle. He's turned inside out, much like how a glove would be turned inside out. Oh.
He's alive.
Oh.
He's alive.
But stay back.
It's alive. Oh, Doc.
something else. Look! There's another door here!
Yeah, and it's open.
Good. Bring that lamp.
Oh, Doc, please, we gotta go.
Hold it high, I say.
Oh, Doc. Oh, what?
Step back. There's no floor in here.
Yeah, all I can see is dark, nothing but dark.
It's a deeper dark than dark. Look how the light just spills over the edges.
Yeah.
Oh. What in the heavens? It's
Oh,
a deeper dark. Oh my goodness. Oh. Look, we are going to stay here and we are going to figure out what this is all about. All my life things have been the way they've been, and I'm going to find out all about this.
Oh, Doc.
It's a woman. It's her.
Oh, please, let's get out of here.
No, wait. Woman, if you know anything, tell us. What was it we saw in there in the room with no floor in it?
Doc, please, let's go.
No, wait.
She's going to the door.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
Doc, please, let's get out of here.
No, look, wait. That's why. It's swallowing her up.
Smoke. Listen to it.
It's the dark.
Smoke. What?
It's turning her inside out.
Turning her
Oh.
inside out. It's turning her inside out. Inside out.
Oh, Sam, wait. Sam, you gotta get up. Oh, it's approaching us, Sam. Oh, like long black fingers coming towards us. Oh, Sam, come on, get up. You're too heavy. I'll drag you out of here, Sam. Sam, no! Sam! Oh, it's gobbling you up, Sam! Oh, no! Oh, I gotta get out of here! I gotta warn everybody! Oh, I gotta kill everybody! Oh, no! So cold! So slimy! Oh, floaty! So slimy! Oh, my face! My hand! My mouth!
What's that creaking? It's a good thing I know you.
The red spot. While Ruth slept, a spider crawled across her face. It stopped for several minutes on her left cheek, then went on its way. "What is the red spot on my cheek?" she asked her mother the next morning. "It looks like a spider bite," her mother said. "It will go away. Just don't scratch it." Soon the small red spot grew into a small red boil. "Look at it now," said Ruth. "It's getting bigger. It's sore." "That sometimes happens," her mother said. "It's coming to a head." In a few days, the boil was even larger. "Look at it now," Ruth said. "It hurts, and it's ugly." "We'll have the doctor look at it," her mother said. "Maybe it's infected." But the doctor could not see Ruth until the next day. That night, Ruth took a hot bath. As she soaked herself, the boil burst. Out poured a swarm of tiny spiders from the eggs their mother had laid in her cheek. Ooh!
Good night. I began tucking him into bed, and he tells me, "Daddy, check for monsters under my bed." I look under his bed for amusement, and I see him, another him, under the bed, staring back at me, quivering and whispering, "Daddy, there's someone on my bed."
Lindsay was hired to babysit for a wealthy family with a very large house, the kind with a ridiculous amount of rooms. The father told her that once the children were in bed, she should go into the living room and watch TV. She doesn't really want to wander around the house. The parents took off, and soon Lindsay got the kids into bed and went to the room to watch TV. She tried watching TV, but she was disturbed by the clown statue in the corner of the room. She tried to ignore it for as long as possible, but it started freaking her out so much that she just couldn't handle it. She resorted to calling the father and asked, "Hey, the kids are in bed, but is it okay if I switch rooms? This clown statue is really creeping me out." The father said, "Seriously, get the kids, go next door, call 911. "What's going on?" she asked. "Just go next door, and once you call the police, call me back." She got the kids, right next door, and called the police. When the police were on their way, she called the father back and asked, "So really, what's going on?" He responded, "We don't have a clown statue."
Oh, that seems funny. Oh.
George Flint loved to eat. Each day at noon, he closed his camera shop for 2 hours and went home for a big lunch that his wife Mina cooked for him. George was a bully, and Mina was a timid woman who did everything he asked because she was afraid of him. On his way home for lunch one day, George stopped at the butcher shop and bought a pound of liver. He loved liver. He would have Mina cook it for dinner that night. Despite all his complaints about her, she was a very good cook. While George ate his lunch, Mina told him that a rich old woman in town had died. Her body was in the church next door. It was in an open coffin. Anyone who wanted to see her could. As usual, George was not interested in what Mina had to say. "I've got to go back to work," he told her. After he left, Mina began to cook the liver. She added vegetables and spices and simmered it all afternoon, just the way George liked it. When she thought it was done, she cut off a small piece and tasted it. It was delicious, the best liver she had ever made. She ate a second piece, then a third, and it was so good she could not stop eating it. It was only when the liver was all gone that she thought of George. He would be coming home soon. And what would he do when he found that she'd eaten all the liver? Some men would laugh, but not George. He would be angry and mean, and she did not want to face that again. But where could she get another piece of liver that late in the day? Then she remembered the old woman lying in the church next door, waiting to be buried. George said he never had a better dinner. "Have some liver, Mina," he said. "It's just delicious." "I'm not hungry," she said. "You finish it." That night, after George had fallen asleep, Mina sat in bed trying to read, but all she could think about was what she had done. Then she thought she heard a woman's voice. "Who has my liver?" it asked. "Who has it?" Was it her imagination? Was she dreaming? Now the voice was closer. "Who has my liver?" it asked. "Who has it?" Mina wanted to run. "No, no," she whispered. "I don't have it. I don't have your liver." Now the voice was right next to her. "Who has my liver?" it asked. "Who has it?" Mina froze with terror. She pointed to George. "He does," she said. "He has it." Suddenly the light went out, and George screamed and screamed and screamed.
Can you feel it yet? A hot breath from the shadows. in your head. Some questions are best left unanswered. Or perhaps pick your poison at Basil and Wicks and wash them away. Lights out.
Afraid to die? Who isn't? When I was just a kid, I used to wake up in the night and see the darkness pressing all around me, and I'd get so scared. I'd think I was dead, and buried. I'd try to scream. I couldn't. My voice. I know I was dead. I know it. I'd throw off the covers. I'd cry out, "Mother, Mother!" Why? Why did I yell out like that? Why? Why should I be scared now? I want to die. I've got to die. It's cold here in the basement. I wonder if the grave is cold. Why don't I get it over with? The rope's around my neck. One step off the ladder and I'll hang and I'll die. And I've got to die. I've got to die.
The wages of sin.
The wages of sin are death.
The wages.
Funny how I seem to hear the words the way my father used to say them. The wages of sin. But was it sin? No. It was hate. I killed her because I hated her. I remember the first time we met. Jay had just married me, and we were walking along the street to his house.
Oh, Ella, you'll like my mom, really you will.
Will I?
Sure, she's swell, best woman in the world.
Is she?
I mean, well, we're married now, Ella, but she's my mom. You two will get along just fine. Well, here's the house. What do you think of it?
It's all right.
Well, in we go. How will Ma's eyes pop when she sees you?
Oh, Jay, where have you been, son?
Surprise!
Jay,
Surprise day, Ma. Meet Ella.
Jay, you've brought home a woman.
When she said it that way, right from that minute, I hated her. That's the way it was from then on. I wasn't Jay's wife to her, but a woman, a stranger in her house. And it was her house, and everything in it. Nothing Jay's, everything hers.
Mom. Can I use the car to take Ella riding? Mom, can Ella plant roses in your garden?
That's the way it was. Hers, everything hers. All I had was Jay, and he wasn't much. You can't blame me. You hear me? You can't blame me for not standing it. All my life I had nothing. At least I was married and I still had nothing. Her house, her car, her money, her son. I couldn't stand it, I tell you. So I killed her. Why do I keep hearing Pa's word in my head? I'm gonna kill myself. I'm gonna do it. It's just that I want to sit here on top of the ladder and think about it. And think about everything for a little while. It's the last chance I'll get. So like I said, I killed her. Oh, not right away. I stood it for weeks and months. But all the time inside of me, something was talking. At first soft lights, and then louder and louder until my head filled with it. Louder and louder couldn't stand it no more. Louder and louder until I said, yes, I'll do it. Yes. Yes. Everything will be mine. Everything. I always wanted it that way. It had to be that way. Here, in this basement, that's where it happened. Jay went to work. I came down here. Oh, it wasn't very hard to do what I had to do. I remember every minute of it so well. Every minute. I called her, and she came down into the basement.
You called me, Dad? What's the matter?
Somebody took the lid off the sewer down here.
Oh, land sakes alive, had the iron cover like that. Oh, Jay wouldn't have done it.
Is it deep down there?
Of course it's deep. Tain't a sewer anyway. Covers an old well this building was built over.
Oh.
What are you bawling about? I heard my son Jay telling you the same thing weeks ago.
Yeah, he did. Funny, I forgot. Oh, look.
What?
Down in the well, look.
See nothing.
It's your well, Mama, isn't it? Your well. So stay in it, Mama. Stay in it. Your well, Mama. But everything else is mine now. Everything mine, mine. That's the way it was. Easy, too easy. Jay came home.
Where'd Mama?
I don't know. She wasn't here when I got back from the store. She must have gone out.
Leave it to Mom. Well, I'll go find her.
But she didn't come back. How could she? Jay went to the police. They came around. They asked questions. They went away. Nothing happened. It was easy as that. Why do I keep hearing that in my head? Why? I'm gonna die. The rope's around my neck. Just a little bit longer talking, just a little bit. She was gone, and I had her house and her son, and then I didn't want him. Always talking about her, morning and night. Mama this and Mama that. Mama always did this way, and that way. I tell you, he made me just sick just to look at him. Mama, Mama, I wanted to forget. How could I forget with his fat lips saying, Mama, Mama, Mama? And then, one day, I got an idea. There was more room under that iron lid in the basement, wasn't there? That was it, yes, that was it. Got free of her, now I'll get free of him. Sell the house quick, get out, away, far away, yes. That was it, a free woman, and with my looks and all that money, oh, would I have a time. I planned everything. Told the neighbors Jay was going on a trip. Yeah, a long trip. Give me time to sell everything. Oh, I planned good. I said Jay written me to sell the place and join him out of town. Oh, I tell you, it was perfect. He came home that night. The night I wanted to let him join his mama.
Anybody home?
I'm always home.
You say that just like Mama used to.
Did I?
You know, I've got a new detective agency working on the case, and they seem to think that maybe she lost her memory or something like that.
All right. Sit down and eat. You want your supper to get cold?
Can't understand why you aren't worried about finding Mama.
Finish eating your supper. You'll find your mama.
You think so?
Sure.
Boy, that's swell of you, Ella. You know, I'd really love to find my Mama.
He sat down to eat. I made him a good supper. Why not? It was his last supper. And then it happened.
Who's that?
How should I know? Get up and answer it.
probably some peddler, you know. Nobody here.
Huh?
Nobody here.
Then shut the door and come back and finish your supper. Those kids playing jokes. Go on, eat. There's something in the basement I want you to fix.
Fix what?
You'll see. Finish your eating first.
Okay.
Those kids.
I gotta go see who's there.
No, Jay. Don't open that door.
Why not? Gotta find out who's there. It seems to be coming from the basement door.
No.
It is the basement door.
No, Jay. Don't open that door.
Gotta see who it is.
No, Jay. Leave the door closed.
Gotta see. Mama.
Oh,
Mama!
yeah, it was her all right. There she was, eyes glaring, dirty gray old hair plastered wet around her face, standing there. I could see her with my own eyes, and yet she was dead, I tell you. Dead, dead. Jay didn't know that. No, he took that dead thing by the arm and he led her into the room and he sat her down in a chair.
Oh, Mama, where you been? You okay, Mama? Ella, she's sick. You gotta take Mama up to bed, lay her down, go to bed with her and keep her warm. Mama. Ella, you gotta take her up. You fainted. Why
Sure,
you
I
fainted,
fainted.
Ella?
Me
Why?
sleep with that? Me keep that warm? Oh no. I didn't wake up until the next morning. Jay was leaving for work. He told me she was sleeping in her room to take care of her when she woke up. Then he went away, happy his mama was back. When he was gone, I sat there in the kitchen and waited. I waited a long time, listening. The clock hands crawling slowly around and around. But there was only the sound of its ticking. Nothing from upstairs. Nothing from her. It got on to 5. Soon he'd be coming home. I had to know. I tell you, I had to. I went over to her room. I opened the door. Nobody there. The bed not even slept in. She's never been there. Never. I dreamt it. Jay dreamt it. She wasn't there. She hadn't come back, but I had to be sure. There was the open well. I lit a lantern. I held in the black hole. I looked in. She was there, floating in the water like a big fat ooh. But she was still there. That's all that mattered. I piled things over the lid to hold it down. An old trunk, boxes, heavy things. That's what I did. Jay came home after a while.
How's Mama?
She's all right.
Call her to dinner, will you?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, that's what I said. I knew Mama was all right where she was. We sat down to dinner. He kept talking about how funny it was that she was still sleeping, how funny it was the way she came back. But all the time I was laughing inside myself because I knew what had happened was just a strange dream we both had had. Because she was dead, dead and floating. We sat there eating. I felt good. A bad dream had ended for the night Jay would join his mama. Swimming. Yeah. And then, just like the night before, it happened.
Say, who in the world is that? And it's the basement door again. Now what in the... Mama! Mama! You...
Yeah, I screamed. What good was that? There she was again. The water dripping down off her face and clothes and puddling on the floor. And this time I knew it was no dream. She came into the room. She sat down on the chair. Jay talking all the time, not understanding yet, thinking that she wandered out again. No, he didn't understand. He thought the wet on her face was from the rain that was falling outside. He didn't see it the way I saw it, that the flesh on her face was oozing.
Oh, Mama, you should never have sneaked out on a night like this. Now to bed with you. In the morning, I'll call the doctor. Ella, you take Mama upstairs to bed, and this time be sure you sleep with her. You know how scared she is of thunder. Go on now. She's soaked to the skin.
I just sat there. I tell you, I couldn't move. Thinking of going upstairs with her, being in the same room with her, it froze me to my chair.
No, come to think of it, I'll go fetch the doctor right now. Can't take any more chances. Ellen, you take Mama right upstairs and put her to bed. Lie down with her. Keep her warm till I get back with the doctor.
Then he was gone after the doctor. I sat there, the flesh on me crawling. The doctor coming, he'd see that she was dead a long time. He'd be sure to see it, the way I saw it, dead and bloating from the water and sitting there staring at me. How long we sat there looking at each other, I don't know. And then her lips moved, and it was like a cold wind.
My son said to put me to bed.
Me, keeping that dead thing warm? That's what she said. My son said to put me to bed. And then I understood the whole thing. She came back from the dead to keep me from killing him. And she wanted me alone upstairs no, I wouldn't do it.
My son said to keep me warm. Come upstairs, Ella, to keep me warm.
Me, keeping that dead thing warm? Her wet, cold, dripping skin against? No, I wouldn't do it. She thought she'd make me crazy that way, hold me in her bony arms until the sense of me ran out the way the well water was running out of her. Make me crazy, something to be locked away like they locked away my own mother. Crazy. No, that wouldn't happen to me. She wouldn't make me crazy, not me. I turned quick before she could stop me. No, I know how to cheat her, the sure way, the only way. That's why I'm down here now. The rope around my neck, the other end tied to the crossbeam. I'll jump off this ladder, the rope will stretch, I'll be dead, dead, and she'll never get me crazy. Still thundering. If I make noise as I choke, nobody will hear me. And I'll die, and I'll never see her again. Mother died crazy, but I'll die sane, you hear me? Sane, sane. Why don't I do it now? There isn't much time. Jay and the doctor will be coming back. I gotta be dead then, good and dead, or they'll find the truth out about her. Why don't I do it now? Step off this ladder? It'll be over quick. I know it will. The rope will tighten quick. I'll hardly know it happened. Why don't I do it? 'Cause I'm afraid. Afraid of dying. Terribly afraid. That's why I've been talking here in the dark. 'Cause I'm afraid. Afraid to die. There'll be just nothing. And when I'm dead, and I'm afraid of that nothing. I've always been afraid of it. When I was a kid, and now. It'll be so dark, empty. Things will go on, the world. I'll have nothing but the dark. Why should I die? Yes, why should I? If I left this house, she wouldn't follow me, would she? That's all she wants, her house, her Jay. Well, she can have him. I'll go right away, far away. They'll never find me, never. Oh, the rope so tight around my neck. Gotta get it off. Gotta hurry and get away before Jay and the doctor can't get the rope off. Who's there? Who's coming down the steps? Is that you, Jay? You followed me? How could you? I locked the door, but then I put the iron lid over you too, didn't I? And it didn't seem to do much good. Listen, I'll go away. You hear me? I'll go away. This will be your house and everything in it. Hear me? All yours again. And Jay, I'll leave him too. I won't take anything with me. I'll just go away right away, out into the rain. And if I do that, if I never come back, that'll make everything all right, won't it? No, you don't have to answer. I know it's all right with you. You see, I was going to kill myself. Still, up here, rope around my neck. But I won't have to do that now, will I? As long as I'm going away. Get the rope off. I'll go. You'll see me go. Make the noose so tight, I can't seem to... Mrs. Kruger, what are you going to do? You're not going to climb up the ladder. No, stay off, I tell you. Don't come closer. I can't stand you coming closer. Stay away. The ladder will fall. The rope is still around my neck. No. I got the rope with my hands. I don't want to die. It isn't right to die. Jay will be home right away. He'll get me down. Oh, I gotta live. My arms. Cramp in my arms. Jay, I can't hold on anymore. I wouldn't have killed you, Jay.
Be wary of the creatures that skulk in the dark as you venture into this October night. You can lock your doors and look beneath your bed. But remember, a locked door cannot keep out the horrors you can hear.
my God.
Okay,